Hey guys, this is Eve. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. This channel is dedicated to exploring various topics of the metaphysics and looking at them from a very occult standpoint. This video in particular, I want to really just kind of send some comfort, if you will, to the 144,000. There are some of us that still have information that can actually help you to inherit the earth. And so, what they say, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And so I'm here to divulge knowledge, if you will, that is, it's not for everyone. Like I said, RH negatives or the 144,000, they represent people that have RH negative blood. And so RH negative blood is less than 15% of the world population. If you are black, then you are less than 4% of the world population. So you are a freak of nature. You are somebody. So in the world, they treat you like a nobody, but you are somebody. And so I'm here to let you know that I see you. And I know that you are someone, and there's someone out there who loves you and who cares about you. Okay? And so it's very dark information. It's not information that, is for everyone. And, it's stuff that you don't really want to hear, but it's true and you have to hear it. Maybe I should tell it in the dark. Let me ask Alexa. Alexa, turn off the lights. Maybe I'll just do it in the dark and I don't know. Oh, she didn't hear me. Alexa, turn off the lights. Alexa, what's going on with you? Alexa, turn off the lights. Alexa's about to get fired here. But anywho, I don't know. Or maybe is that weird? Is it weird if I tell all of this like in the dark or whatnot? I don't know. I like the skyline in the back, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. Let's turn on the lights back on. Okay, Alexa, turn on the lights. I felt kind of weird, like telling it in the dark, but it's dark information. Let's just say that. So, but anyway, like I said, this is just a comfort to the 144,000, and I have to be very careful sometimes about divulging certain information because, some people are not ready for it. You know what I mean? But when I feel like it's a life or death situation, I feel like I have to divulge the information and just let the chips fall where they may. You know what I mean? We're in Vegas. You know what I mean? Just let the chips fall where they may. It's like, hey, you know what? If you don't have it, you're really screwed. If you do have it, you might not. So, hey, this is it, or what have you. Now, like I said, the 144,000 are people who have a really big subconscious mind, okay? Because of how many times we've been reincarnated into this system. Now, with that being said, every time you're reincarnated here, okay, you gain the mark of the beast. The beast is the subconscious, okay? We call the subconscious, again, the devil, the veil of the ego, okay? And so, basically it's like it creates phantoms, right? A wishful mind or a desirous mind, right? This goes back to your soul or your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is the Son of God. Solar means sun, and it is Jesus in the occult. And so your will represents your, which is, what the solar plexus is responsible for, is responsible for your will, for what you want to do. So every time you come here, you cannot do what you want to do. They take away your creativity, right? You can't make your clothes or make your car or make your house. You have to have options. You have decisions, okay? You can decide this, that, and the other. You can't create it, all right? You can't do what you want to do. You know what I mean? You have limitations and stuff like that. And so since you have limitations, it creates a wishful mind. It creates a wishful mind. Like, for example, like I wanted a penthouse or what have you, but I couldn't afford $1,200 a night penthouse. So I was like, you know what, I'll just afford a nice, panoramic room instead. Okay, so the thing is that there was a limitation. So the fact that I wanted that penthouse does not disappear. That is still there. Do you see what I'm saying? It becomes a phantom. So the more you keep wishing and coming here and having a wishful mind, you don't ground that through your physical ego, it creates what you would call a beast or a devil, a veil of the ego. Okay? So this is your subconscious. Now they purposely create this subconscious mind. And when you start to get into your meditative states and stuff like that, you start to see a lot of different crazy things. You're like, what is that? You know what I mean? It will start to be alien to you, or whatever the case is. Like, well, what's in my mind? Okay. But the subconscious is created from this restriction. So the ego is always under restriction. You have a particular gender, a particular race, a particular nationality. You had a particular education, a particular, media and entertainment that you resonate with, and that you've been exposed to. There are particulars or what have you, that makes your consciousness more narrow as opposed to broad. Okay. And so, this is a restriction. And so the thing is that, the 144,000 are very much targeted with the subconscious mind because of how many times we've been reincarnated. Rh negatives, we carry Aryan blood. Okay. So when you think of Aryan, like going back to Hitler, right? Aryan is like a race of people without a soul, right? They don't have any melanin. Okay, like black people call soul sisters and soul brothers because, we have the most melanin or soul, right? Right? Whereas when you're a dumb blonde, when you don't have any soul left, they call it a dumb blonde, right? And I'm not saying in terms of the matrix, because in terms of the matrix, you may be quite smart. You may be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever the case is, a teacher, whatever the case says, a professor, whatever it is. But in terms of spirituality, you can't get beyond the hell realm. You're stuck in the hell realm because you can't get beyond what you can see, taste, touch, smell, and hear. All right. So the more melanin you have, the more you are able to see past the subliminal programming of the matrix. Okay. Like for example, when I started to meditate or what have you and get into the different corners of my mind, I didn't realize that I was so racist against black people. And I was saying to myself, this is very strange. I was like, like I'm black, and I have a black daughter, and, my ex-husband is black. My family is black. You know what I mean? I just felt like, what is it that has caused this? But the thing is that the subliminal programming. So whenever you're programmed subliminally, it is targeting your subconscious. So your subconscious is what's not put into your awareness. Okay, it's kept away from the awareness of the consciousness. And so the thing is that like for example, I would always use the example of my daughter watching Blackish. She would say, "Mommy, I want to watch Blackish," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay." And when I saw it through the lens of my third eye, I said to myself, "Oh my gosh, this is the most racist show ever." I'm going to put a link to a episode of Blackish to really showcase this and give you an example of really what I'm talking about. Like in this particular episode, the main character, one of the main characters, the husband of Rainbow's husband, I can't remember his name, but he is talking to some of his white colleagues about how black people have, been disenfranchised, like through, economics and stuff like that. And I don't know, he just talks about, how black people couldn't serve on juries like whites could and stuff like that. And so, the white people at the table are just laughing and just saying, "Oh, there you go with another one of your black stories and stuff like that and struggles." And everybody thinks it's funny. You know what I mean? It's just very, very weird. I to look at it makes me cringe, like, what is it with Rainbow? She got promoted or what have you to, partner or something like that as a surgeon or whatnot. She's a doctor at a hospital. And so she was like one of the, her teachers or what have you, the supervisor who was also a fellow surgeon, told her that pointed out that she misspelled some really long name or something like that for some illness. And, it was a relatively long name. One thing you have to know about, medical terms and stuff like that, they're derived from Latin. And sometimes you can have words that, don't really have a lot of vowels in them. It's very difficult words to pronounce. And, there are words that a normal person would easily misspell. you know. And surgeons, they're tired all the time, you know. They're performing surgeries, they have to sleep at the hospital, shower there, and what have you. So she was like, what is it, her supervisor told her that, you know, he does not teach her ebonics. And so to me, this is very racist. You know what I mean? Like, what does ebonics have to do with, you know, the fact that she misspelled or missed a letter on one of the, I guess what you would say, you know, diagnosis. And so she was like, I never misspelled that word again. You know, it was just like, really? You didn't acknowledge how racist that is to actually associate that with ebonics? You know, and so it was just taken as something that was funny and humorous. So what am I trying to say? You know, some people may look at me and say, you know what, you're batshit crazy whore. You know what I mean? Like, you're batshit crazy because you're saying that as an ego that you don't see race or color, but you're saying in the subconscious that you're very racist towards Black people particularly, or humans in general, but Black people particularly, because Black people have the most hue. They're the most human. Okay. But when you look at shows like Blackish that guise racism with humor, and it bypasses your what do they call it? Was it your frontal cortex, whatever, your gift, your discernment, right? You don't really see it. And so a lot of these things that we are programmed with, that's why they say when you watch a television show, it says your program will start soon. So when you start to, when things bypass your awareness because they're supposed to be taken as funny, you know, the subconscious is God. It does not have any gift of discernment. And so this is how we make our way throughout, you know, all the root races. Every time you're born here, you get your melanin taken away. You make it through the Black race, the, you know, Asian race, the Caucasian race, and eventually you don't have any melanin. So they subliminally teach you to hate your race. And when you start to actually ascend to your subconscious mind, right, through these meditative states and things like that, you will start to discover the subliminal programming. But the thing is that you have to realize that you are not the program, and nor are you the ego. You are not the ego as well. This person that's speaking to you right now could be a different person in another lifetime. Could have a different race, a different, I don't know, whatever, religion. You know, I grew up Christian, you know, that was my programming, or whatever the case is. So what I'm trying to get you to see here is that we do not belong to ourselves here. We are slaves here. And so the purpose of the programming is to actually make you a tasty meal for the parasitic elite that run this hellhole for the Jews. And so when you get beyond, you know, identifying with the ego and also identifying with the subconscious that they're trying to crucify you with, then you become what you would call, quote unquote, a Christ or a Jew. Okay, so you're no longer a Christian, but you are a Christ. Okay, so it's not good to identify with the conscious or subconscious mind. And so, you know, the 144,000, we were being whipped with the subconscious, but it was not us who created the subconscious, right? And so the creator is trying to get off scot-free in this generation. He does not want to come to judgment about, you know, creating this construct that births this beast or what have you. Why should the ego suffer for something that somebody else created? It's kind of like, you know, if like say I'm your creator and I put you in a classroom and I say, you know what, you have to sit in this desk and you can't leave. You can't go anywhere and this, that, and the other, and you just have to sit in that desk, right? You know, that's a restriction. It goes against your nature. Nobody wants to sit in a room and sit in a desk, right? And so after sitting in a desk for I don't know how many lifetimes, I say, oh, now you can get up now and you can come out of the classroom. You're going to be like a feral animal or something like that. You know, I mean, it's going to be like, because you've been restricted for so long. So the parasitic elite, when they actually let you go, right? They get a good tasty meal off of seeing you become identified with that feral animal. You see what I'm saying? But it was the one who made you sit in that room all that time that created that animal. So you should not be identified with the animal. You should want to bring to judgment the one that actually made you sit there. Okay, that created the perversion, I would say, in the subconscious mind, or created that animal. So really, I mean, for the most part, I think that's really pretty much what I want to focus on. I really just want to, guys, just focus on, you know, really just sending some comfort, I should say, and mainly comfort to myself too. You know what I mean? Doing this helps me to really, I guess what you would say, um, feel like I'm going through this for a reason. You know what I mean? For a reason. Is not to, feed the parasitic elite, and have them jack off to my pain like a bukkake porno. The parasitic elite, they're very disgusting people, and they don't have the right to judge anybody for anything. And so they definitely don't want to have this information disclosed. They don't want to put what they're doing out in the forefront into the light. And so before they can prostrate somebody out, in public about the things that they do, I think that they should actually do their own doctrines and get the speck out of their own eye. So, that's pretty much it, guys, or whatnot. I think I covered, pretty much the Illuminati and, basically the parasitic elite that run this hellhole, the mark of the beast, the conscious and subconscious, how that's made, and how both, like I said, your conscious and subconscious aspect of you are fallacies or they're fake. And so you have to rise above them so you can step into your Christ energy and inherit the earth. Because as Christ, you are the true inheritor, okay? Not the subconscious slut that they make, or that they worship, I should say, okay? All right. So shout out there to the Madonna. But anyway, all right, guys. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.